Hello, everyone. This is the Mind of Lilith, and welcome to another open mind intuitive tarot message for the collective. This message will be timeless in nature, so take it how it resonates. If it don't fit, you must quit. We'll see what Spirit has to say for you guys. What important message, collective, do you guys need to hear? What's going on? Archangels, spirit guides, divine messengers, thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. What message needs to be relayed to the collective at this time? What do they need to know? I need one card. The Ten of Swords. Before I pull this card out, I heard the word declaring. Something's being cleared out. The Ten of Swords is not negative in this instance. This represents the end of a long, painful experience. It could be psychological, could be emotional, could be financial, but something is over. And I believe in this instance, this is you finally letting go of something that ended quite a while ago. Because these feathers, these swords are actually light as feathers. So this is like you were holding on to thoughts and emotions that were from older experiences that you never recovered from, you never healed from, and you've been carrying it around. You've changed your perspective about this. You've changed your perspective about your experiences, and now you're feeling lighter and freer. You're feeling empowered. Some of you guys may even feel like you are silly for holding on to this for so long. Like it wasn't that serious. It was never that serious. And you're seeing that what you were afraid of was not that serious. So what you were mourning over was not meant for you. So you're at peace. I'm not seeing this as a current situation, like you're just getting a divorce or you're just not in this instance. I think this is old baggage. It's almost like ashes. These feathers represent ashes that you blow away. Once something is incinerated and burned and cremated, all that's left is the dust. So you're blowing the dust away. This is over. It's been over. The mourning's over. A mourning period is over. The World card is here. The Fool card is here as well. And the Sun. The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is a young person who's learning how to manage their resources, how to create resources. This person is becoming the source of their own security, their own self-worth. So as you have gained a new perspective about why you endured this past situation for so long, why you allow yourself to be mistreated, why you allowed yourself to be disrespected, you're learning how to love yourself and value yourself more. Page of Pentacles. This is self-value, self-esteem, self-respect, self-worth. So as you learn to love yourself, you're realizing that whatever you were holding on to was never worth it in the first place. It was never worth it in the first place. And you were only holding on to it because you didn't love yourself. Once you realize that, it's easier to let go and walk away from this. So you may have been burdened with feelings of like shame or self-hatred, insecurity. Why didn't they choose me? Why am I always the one that's betrayed? Why can't I find someone who loves me? Blah, blah, blah. And you're realizing that the reason why you were attracting these types of partners in the first place was because you didn't love yourself. And now that you love yourself, your attachment to these people and the experiences that you went through with these abusive, disrespectful, dysfunctional people, it's waning like dust. You've cremated this. This is incinerated. Some of you guys were looking at the dead bodies of your exes. You were carrying them around with you energetically, and you've incinerated them recently. Page of Fire, incineration. A spark of life, enthusiasm, joy, gratitude is here. Gratitude. This is like restoring your childlike innocence and love for yourself. Feeling light as air, feeling lighter like a child again. So you've let go of the trauma from your past relationships. As far as the perspective of it, you've changed your perspective on why those relationships had to end, why you went through what you went through. And it's like you're being reborn. You've been purified. You've gone through a dark night of the soul. You went through an incineration. What do you call it? Purgatory. It's very painful. And along with your ego, you were also burning away the parts of yourself that was attached to or attracted to abusive people, low vibrational people. Ten of Pentacles, self-love and self-worth, family dynamics, marriage. Now, in this deck, the Page of Earth is a single woman who has resources. So she's not with a family. This is self-worth and self-love. For you, it's not about you wanting the man or woman to validate you, wanting to get married for validation. You're learning how to love yourself and put yourself first for the first time. So something is released. It's being released. It's like what was once like a dead carcass on your back that was heavy and rotting. It's been burned away, and now you feel light as a feather. You're free. Seven of Cups. Lots of options in life and love. Chariot, moving forward. We got Scorpio, and then we have Cancer energy. Major Arcana, Chariot, moving forward. And now it's like, what's next? The Seven of Cups represents some sort of emotional confusion, but I don't think the confusion is due to a lack of empowerment. Like, okay, I don't know what to do because I'm not informed, I'm insecure, I'm dependent on someone else's validation or permission to do what I want to do for my life. This is like you having all these options. Like for the first time, you're free, and now you don't know what to do with your freedom, in a sense. You don't know what to do with your freedom. You haven't felt like this in a long time. You're seeing the world with new eyes, a new perspective. It's like, what do I do next? How can I enjoy my life without this burden? It's not in a bad way. But the world is literally your oyster. She's sitting in a flower, which is kind of resembling an oyster. There's an oyster right here, or clamshell. Yeah, so so you guys are like looking at all of the possibilities you have for developing hobbies, new romantic interests, moving. You feel like the world is opened up for you. You were cloaked in darkness or depression for quite a while with the Ten of Swords. You were at the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords for many years, potentially. And now you feel free. You're liberated from this energy. Spirit guides, let's continue with this message for the collective. What else do they need to know? You have broken free from this, or you're breaking free from it because you've learned how to love yourself, and you realize that the new version of you would have never chosen the people who you are with in the past. You have never allowed yourself to be mistreated the way that you have been, or that you were, if you loved yourself, and you're seeing that now. You may even be repulsed by your exes, the idea of them, like, oh my God, I couldn't believe I even dealt with that person ever. That's where you are with it. Spirit guides, please continue this message for the collective. What else do they need to know as it pertains to this message? It's all a matter of perspective. Jupiter and Gemini, silence, frozen, no words, stone wall, the Eight of Swords. Being here, healing, yes. Releasing, purifying, cleansing, purgatory. Clear the air. You've been quiet for quite a while. The High Priestess is here too. And the World is here. But I think you already went through the World card. Like the World was the end of the old cycle, but you were psychologically still attached to it. So it's not showing up here because you've already ended that phase. Those people are not coming back. Those experiences are done, but you were still holding on to them energetically and or psychologically and emotionally. And you were quiet for a while. You were reflecting, healing, spending time alone. High Priestess energy, the Moon card. You were chilling. And you've healed while you were chilling. This is great, collective. Great stuff. Get another card for you guys. I'm hearing I'm good. Again, by the clips. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So you guys are doing good. Let me get some keywords and I'll do a mind info card. Let me get some keywords for you guys to help elucidate this message. This is freedom. Absolute freedom. You were in a self-imposed psychological prison. Eight of Swords. Okay, this is, hey, it's reverse. The cards were upside down. I'll take it out anyway. So, sorry about that, guys. Give me a second. Hey. See your value. Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Page of Fire. Ten of Swords. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you're liberated or free or released from bitterness, anger, sadness, rejection, all that stuff. Make the most of your day. Successful end. Profitable business. Necessity and hard work. Don't work for pennies. This is about self-valuation. Ten of Pentacles. So your lack of value also, it bled into other areas of your life, like your career, your business. There's neglect here. There's self-neglect, like neglecting your own needs. Some of you guys are not used to taking care of yourself or putting yourself first. Page of Pentacles and Page of Wands. Learning how to put yourself first. Learning a new skill that you can commodify or sell, and learning how to put a value on what you have to offer. What is the value of what you have to offer to the world? What is your value? How do you value what you have to offer to the world? So some of you guys have a low valuation of what you have to offer. You feel like it's, I don't know, worthless or easy to come by. There's nothing special about you. You're learning that you are special, but you don't know how. Seven of Water, sorry. You don't know how, you don't know why, but you're learning you're special. Doesn't mean you're better than other people, but there's something about you that's different, which is why these relationships did not work out. You were not meant to go down the beaten path. You're here to do something different. Goat, sure-footedness, desire, reverie, navigates hard places with ease. Capricorn energy, faith, creative energy, aspiration, tranquility. This is ambition. Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. Your ambition is coming back, or your curiosity is coming back. You're returning back to who you used to be before all of this mess. 10 years of drama, 10 relationships, 10 disappointing experiences, decades of stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, what do you want to do with your life? You're starting to ask yourself that question. And for the first time, a relationship is not involved in that answer. You don't care about a relationship. So before, when you would ask yourself what you wanted to do, you would always picture a partner as a part of that equation. So they were central. Finding someone was central to you doing whatever it is your life purpose was. So in your mind, you did not have a life purpose unless you were with someone. Your life was not worth anything unless you had someone to share it with or to partner with. That kind of energy. So it's like, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer, but you always imagined being a wife who was a doctor and a lawyer, or husband. And so when those things didn't pan out, when those relationships didn't pan out, it affected your ambitions in a sense. You did not live up to your potential. I'm not saying it's over with already. It's not over. You're still alive. But you're changing your perspective on who you are relative to other people. You guys could be a Libra, have 7th house placements, North Node in the 7th house, Sun in the 7th house, Moon in the 7th house, South Node in the 7th house, Pluto in the 7th. Spirit guides, what's happening for the collective? More advice and guidance for the collective, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. Compassion, self-compassion. You're being asked to be kinder to yourself, to give yourself a break, which is a 10 of swords, or 10 of air, right? That all that old baggage of regret, remorse, anger, self-loathing, self-flagellation, self-abuse, forgiving yourself for allowing other people to treat you the way that they had, for allowing someone else to take away your dignity, your vitality, your ambition, your dreams, your hopes. You're forgiving yourself for that. That was a part of the anger and the bitterness you experienced or you felt, was the anger towards yourself. Because you did all of that for this person and that person and that person, had nothing to show for it. And now you felt silly. When you realize that not only were those people not worth it, but you were a willing participant in your own self-destruction for the sake of being in a relationship with someone you didn't even need to be with, that was not meant for you. You're being asked to be kinder to yourself, to give yourself a break. Instead of being a taskmaster, a bully, and a horrible friend, be a loving comforter who always has your own back. Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. Loving yourself, valuing yourself, putting your own needs first. Lighten up. 10 of air, feathers. I mentioned you carrying a dead body on your back, a burden on your back, psychologically, emotionally, and energetically. Lightening up the load, blowing away the ashes of the dead. You're being asked to remember that life doesn't always have to be so serious. Did I say that earlier? I think I did. I'm not sure. Yes, there are hard things happening. No, it's not always easy to be here on earth. But you can always find time to laugh, be silly, and have fun. I mentioned it's not that serious. Whatever this is not that serious. Whoever this was not that serious. I mentioned also, I think I mentioned this, your inner child being reactivated, realigned, reawakened, strengthened. Page of Wands is the inner child. And so is the Page of Pentacles. It is important that you do so. It's important for you to lighten up and to forgive yourself, change your perspective on what happened in this situation so that you can make better decisions in the future, but also move on. Move on. You could not move on because of the bitterness and the regret. It was holding you back. Let me get another deck. Hold on a second, guys. It's all the way down here. Jeez. It's time for you to shine. It's time for you to shine. Let me get an enchanted map message. Spirit guides, let me get an enchanted map message for the collective. Let me put a little bit of, where is my thing at? I'm sorry guys, hold on a second. Un momento. Where are they? I just had them. This is ridiculous. My bad, guys. Hold on. Eyes back. Okay. Let me clean these cards up. Okay. Spirit guides, thank you for your support. Let me get an enchanted map message for the collective. Enchanted map. The release card might come out. We never know. Spirit guides, more advice for the collective. More advice for the collective. Why are these upside down? Give me a second. The upside down cards have a meaning in this deck, so I need them to be the right order. Or the right orientation, I should say. All right, thank you for your patience, guys. Spirit guides, more guidance for the collective. Archangels, I need another oracle card to elucidate this message. What further advice? Okay, we have the Moonlight. This is the release card, I believe. Number 51, I mentioned the Moon card earlier and the High Priestess. We'll see what this card has to say. This is number 6, Venus, self-love. And this is 5 and 1, a change in your identity and perspective. Okay? Identity, persona, ego, so on and so forth. Number 1 is independence. Number 5 represents like Mercury, but it's also communication and rapid changes. I don't want to say chaos or fighting, but this is you reintegrating two aspects of your identity, the self and the other. You could have been at war with yourself this whole time. You could have been at war with yourself, not accepting yourself, going against your values and your principles for the sake of having a relationship, lowering your self-worth. What is in this here? We have an owl. What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay, number 51. Moonlight. Your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. Moonlight beckons. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. Heightened perception, ESP. This is kind of connected to this. I think it is. And I'm going to explain why when I'm done. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards and other systems of divination to gain information. Remember, the language of intuition is a symbolic one. It comes so subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. Okay, so here's what I think is happening. I think once you've healed from these old situations and you've released the baggage, you're connecting with source. So when you were at a lower vibration, when you were resonating or vibrating at a lower frequency, right? The root chakra, shame, fear, self-doubt, insecurity, what else? Regret, bitterness, anger, all this stuff. It was hard for you to connect to your intuitive abilities. Your aura or your chakras were like dull, dim. Your connection to source was weakened because you were not operating at your highest level. You were operating from a space of separation from God, weakness, bitterness, anger, very low vibrational energies. And so you could not connect with, I don't want to say your highest good or your higher being, but yeah, your higher self. You were not elevated in consciousness. Your consciousness is elevating and rising as you burn away or blow away or get rid of this old emotional, mental, and physical baggage. Emotional, mental, spiritual, physical baggage. So now you're receiving more intuitive hits. You're connecting with source. You're loving yourself more. You're loving God more. As you grow to love yourself more, your connection with God also increases, or it strengthens. It strengthens. So as, I guess there's a direct connection or correlation with the love you have for yourself and the love you have for God, or the amount of love that you can receive from God. You may have felt like God did not love you, God abandoned you, God betrayed you because you didn't get what you wanted with these raggedy people or these bad experiences. You felt like you were cursed or God hated you, something like that. As you grow to love yourself, your love for God increases or it strengthens because you realize that God has been looking out for you this entire time, and you're growing to love God more because of that. You're becoming aware of the presence of God in your life. With this Moonlight card, it was always there, but you didn't see it or feel it because you externalized God, and you wanted your relationship partners to fill in the void of not having God in your life. So your husband or your wife or your potential husband and wife were meant to be your God. That's the way that you were treating them. That's the way you felt about them. That's why they were central to you, or a central focus in your life. Relationships, they were supposed to replace God in a way, or they were a physical human manifestation of God's glory, a man or a woman, right? That relationship that would make you a wife or husband or chosen by somebody. You felt like, this is kind of corny, but I'm going to say this. You felt like if you were in a relationship with someone who loved you and you loved back, or if you got married, that meant that God loved you more than other people, or God loves you. because I got a man or a woman. I have a husband or wife. That means I'm loved by God. Something like that. You pedestalize your partners. You treated them the way you would treat a God, in a sense. Or you wanted them to be your God and your father and your mother. That kind of energy. One more card and I'm done. Okay, Spirit guides, let me get an angel number card for the collective, please. Thank you very much. Angel number. Venus is here. Mercury and the Sun is also here. Love of self, self-love. Changing your perspective about who you are, your attitudes, your belief systems, your values. They're changing. For good. This is a good thing. This is healing generational curses and trauma as well as it pertains to relationships. You could have been raised by women or men who have this attitude towards other people. They treated their partner better than their children or themselves even. They put their partners on a pedestal and would do anything to have a man or a woman, even enduring abuse. It was never that serious. One more card, please, for the collective, Spirit guides. Angel number. More advice and guidance. And then I'm out. Seven, 14, and 16, 777. Good luck, contentment, prosperity, abundance, spiritual awakening, divine intervention. You're going to realize that God was protecting you by denying you these relationships all along. I don't know how you're going to come to this revelation, but it's going to be here. This message is most likely to reach you during intense uncertainty. You'll come out winning from everything that may come your way. It's also a sign that you have much life experience, 10 of swords or 10 of air, and wisdom to share. Yet you'll need enthusiasm, Page of Wands, and effort, Page of Pentacles, to get this message to others. And the only way you'll have enthusiasm and effort is if you value what you have to say, if you see it as important to share with the collective. If you don't see it as important, you won't have enthusiasm about sharing this message and you won't put any effort into disseminating it either. Okay? 14, light 10 up. I mentioned lightening up earlier. Didn't I say that? Releasing, purifying, cleansing, elevating your energy. Is light up here? Lighten up is here too. Light up, lighten up. Release the load. Burn the dead bodies. Cut the cords. Mood swings, moon energy, respect, family, constructive outlook, and quality. Focus on your needs, desires, and hobbies. Yours. Okay? Everything is more accessible with a light attitude. 7 of Cups. What do I want to do now? The world is my oyster. I have all this freedom. I have all this opportunity. I'm young. I'm beautiful. I have my health. I have my freedom. I got money. What's next? You'll be blessed with new opportunities, a new friend, or in addition to your family. Good vibes will speed up the process, right? Like attracts like. If your frequency vibration is low, you'll attract low vibrational experiences. You must elevate your frequency with positive thinking and visualization and releasing the past. Forgiveness, forgiving the people who hurt you and forgiving yourself for hurting yourself and hurting others if you have, okay? 16 adjustments, overcoming obstacles, romance, affection, support, and comfort. Your level of self-control is sufficient to make things right. On the horizon is the possibility of beginning a new romantic or platonic relationship, friendship, as well as a chance to begin life anew with a person from one's past. Everything will fall to pieces or fall into place. I don't know why they keep saying fall to pieces. That doesn't sound good. Everything will fall into place. With this Chariot card, you're going towards your star card, healing, hopes, wishes, and dreams. But that's not your primary focus right now. Your primary focus is making up for lost time, reconnecting with yourself, enjoying life, forgiving yourself, not having any guilt or shame for doing this. You're free. You're forgiven also. You're forgiven for the mistakes you've made. You're forgiven for the sins you've committed against yourself and against others. You're forgiven for that. It was all part of God's plan, I guess. I'm not saying you should do it again. I'm saying that if you're remorseful about it and you've showed contrition, you're forgiven for it. Okay? But you also must forgive others for what they've done to you in return. If you cannot forgive, then you won't be forgiven either. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for listening. I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon.